All right, so round two. I didn't get all the bees from the first cutout, and the reason is that hole right up there you see. They all retreated up into there with the queen, and I wasn't able to get the queen or all of the bees because of the tight quarters. It's such tight quarters up in here that the only real thing to do is to stick the vacuum hose up in there and try to suck the queen up if possible. It was so tight that I really couldn't get my head arranged where I could look up in there and see what I was doing. So I was kind of using my phone as my eyes. I'd turn the camera on and point it up in there and watch the screen as I was vacuuming. And just try to go for a big group of bees and see what happens. It's been about 5 days since I cut the original hive out, and they've built this much wax. The only way to get this new comb out is to reach up in with your fingertips and just kind of work it loose. You pull down one section at a time, and then you just kind of inspect to make sure the queen's not crawling around on it. But sure enough, there's eggs. So that tells me that I did not get the queen the first time. And sure enough, she's still up in there. Work this piece loose, pull it down out of here. Looking around, no queen, but there's eggs. Matter of fact, there's a lot of eggs. This is a really good laying queen. It would be great to get her, but man, they like to hide. So here you can kind of see they're starting to thin out. And basically, most of them are starting to run up in that recess where you can't reach them. You can see a few of them heading up that way in this video. And here you can see they're almost gone completely. They're all up in there. I'm just kind of pushing stuff out of the way and trying to jam up in there and get them. But let me show you I was basically situated right here. This is a view from outside. And that's where I was working. Now I could reach my hand up just about from the bottom of this box up into, just get my fingertips to the top of that box. The bees were up in this top peak here where you just could not reach. But the roof continues up like this on the other side of the chimney. So, the bees are able to walk up to the peak of the roof where I can't reach. And once they get up into this area, there's just absolutely no hope of ever getting them. Unfortunately, the bees that retreated up into the recess had to be destroyed. There was no way to reach them, and if the queen continued, we'd just be back here next year dealing with another hive. And the homeowner needed them out of there so he could do the things he needed around the area. So I brought the bees that I was able to get home in the vacuum, and I added them to the original colony that's now in this hive. And before I added them, I looked down in the bucket real close to see if I could spot a queen. Didn't see anything. So I dumped the bucket into the hive and watched real close as the bees dispersed. Still didn't see a queen. So I've got a weaker hive, and I decided, since it had a queen, to combine the weaker hive with this stronger hive. But before I did, I decided to take one last look. And I don't know if you can see in there, but there's eggs. So there must be a queen. So I started looking real close. Maybe I missed the queen. Flipping frames back and forth, and finally, bam, there she is. I guess I must have sucked her up in the vacuum. She's a crazy laying queen. She lays eggs like crazy. So this hive's going to make it. They're going to be good to go for the winter. And I'm just going to leave them alone and let them do their thing. Got lucky on this one.